biggest thing is to raise awareness as to, what DCC is and the variety of impacts it can have.
If one family has a child with disorder of corpus callosum, or maybe it's a person out there that has DCC, and they don't know that NODCC exists, and maybe after this they will, and that would be a win in our book. So now we have this conversation, this spark that started, and any way that we can keep that momentum going is all we can hope for.
Well, when Dan and Mackenzie called us and told us that they wanted to somehow represent Lee in the My Cleats, My Cause fundraiser, Madison and I were obviously extremely grateful. We started talking about how we can best represent Lee with his disorder, and the connection that we made with the NODCC last 2 years ago at the conference. It was a pretty quick decision of, hey, it kind of seems like this is the right way to go. So we were pretty quick to decide that the NODCC was going to be our cause.
Lee's story and Mads and Alex, they've been close friends of ours for a while now, and just knowing his story and trying to figure out how we can help raise awareness. And they're the ones who really brought the NODCC to us as like, hey, this is the best way to do it.
Y'all's organization has helped them tremendously in finding community and research and just those tools to help them.
Got together on a group FaceTime, and they hopped on, and it was pretty emotional for everyone.
I mean, instantly waterworks. I was crying, Madison's crying, Alex was emotional, and we just pretty much told them how much they mean to us, and that while we have a platform, we wanted to honor them and them as parents going through this, and also Lee, as the fighter that he is, like, he's just seriously incredible.
Dan and Mackenzie were extremely gracious and invited us down onto the field beforehand. Lee came to the game with us. So bringing your 2.5-year-old, you never know how that's going to go. But I think he really enjoyed it. He loved being on the field. He loved seeing the players run around.
So, they came in, we were able to get them field passes, got to see them before the game. And so that was special on my end to see them and, see Lee before that.
And we actually got to interact with some different Lions fans that, and Madison and Alex were just so excited to say, like, we're here because of Dan, and this is the My Cause, My Cleats. Like, this is, who he did it for. And just kind of watching them be so proud of Lee and of the NODCC in the stands whenever we got to interact with other Lions fans. And he's our lucky charm because we got to win there.
Just to also know that we were there for such an important reason, and for Lee to be, I guess, a ambassador of sorts for that, along with Dan, was so special. Deep down for us, what was even maybe more special was seeing the feedback we were getting on Facebook groups and within the NODCC of other parents or people with DCC who were like, this is amazing, we're tuning in, go Lions. Oh my gosh, tears to our eyes. I have hundreds of screenshots of different comments from parents and people with DCC. And so that was truly like, oh my gosh, like, this is just bigger than us. It truly could not have been a better day. And seeing the cleats flash up on the big screen was so surreal. I was just like, pinch. And then getting texts from family and friends of the clip of the shoes on TV was just like, is this our life right now?
We just hope that every single kid or adult that has this got to sit there and watch that game and just have a second to not feel different, and hopefully just feel seen for exactly who they are, because that's how we see Lee. Just anyone watching that game that saw those cleats or heard that Dan was doing that as his cause, that they just felt cool. And they were like, dang, I have that, and it's on a football field.
Not to mention just putting the NODCC on TV, on the NFL playing surface on a Sunday, that was kind of secondary to, the exposure to people who are affected by it every day. It was better than we could have ever expected.
Dreamed of, yeah.
They did such a great job designing it. The silhouette of Lee with his walker, the diagram kind of the pathways, the bridge from the left and right hemisphere, and things like that. It was extremely well done.
I think Mackenzie had thought of the idea of Lee's silhouette. Of course, I was emotional looking at the shoes, but when I saw that, I of course was like, waterworks. That picture was actually taken outside of our church. So it was just like such a cool moment for us, all that Lee's been through, and the grit and the determination that he has, continued to show us, and a testament to our faith as a family. Lee uses a walker for walking. And so thinking that maybe another kid or another person with DCC would see that was like, oh my gosh, they are not going to feel alone. He's just like me. And look how cool that was that he was on an NFL player's shoes.
The attention to detail was awesome. It was sharp lines where they needed to be sharp. And then on the drawings, it was very creative. She did a great job.
He cares about that. I care about the cuteness. I wanted a cute picture of Lee on there for sure. And then Madison and Alex had sent us that really cool graphic of the brain, and it looks like roads with cars. And we were like, that has to go on, because that's the only way that I feel like I fully understand Lee's diagnosis. And so I thought that graphic was kind of, full circle for us of how to explain it to people. Her business is called Game Day Swagger, and she also painted a little pair of cleats for Lee to also wear to the game. It had Dan's number on it that some of our other friends that are also friends with Madison and Alex gifted them before the game. So she kind of made everyone's day that day.
So we gifted them to Mads and Alex.
When Dan handed them to them after the game, they were like, at first I said, do you have room in your suitcase? Because Dan is a size 18. So you can imagine their big shoes. And Madison's like, we'll make room. Oh my gosh, we'll make room.
So I think this was it'd be a good time to announce that we would love to announce that we're going to donate them to the NODCC in hopes for an auction for the funds benefiting the NODCC. So
oh my goodness gracious.
Super excited to be able to do that. And again, Dan and Mackenzie made this possible. So we just wanted to announce that we're pumped. We're hoping someone will find them as special as we did, and maybe those funds can go towards further awareness, education, research, etc.
It's not a stopping point. It's a starting point. And the opportunity that they've given Lee through the all the work that they put in and day out, they're the ones who really opened our eyes to this. And if we can open more people's eyes, that would be my end goal.
I'm so excited for my boys to grow up with Lee. Just know him as a friend, a brother, a fighter, all of the above, because he truly is that. I hope that anyone that's going through this, just lean on your friends, talk about it, because we want to be there for you.
Lee is our 2.5-year-old. He has complete agenesis of the corpus callosum and was diagnosed prenatally. And I started just Googling about corpus callosum disorders, any community that might be out there. And I stumbled upon a conference event from the NODCC. It was actually going to be in my hometown of Frisco. We attended our first conference back in 2022. And it was one of the best weekends ever for us. We just got to meet people who got it, and other parents and kids and people with DCC that are adults now. So it was truly a life-changing experience, and one of those weekends that finished and we were like, okay, when's the next one? We're ready. We already have our rooms booked for Chicago, so we're ready.
He's the sweetest 2.5-year-old you'll ever meet.
We're biased, but he is.
Yeah, definitely. He loves cars. He loves animals. He loves our dog, Blue. Loves his grandparents. We FaceTime grandparents daily. weekly for sure.
You can tell he feels so comfortable with his family, and he would rather be spending time with his family versus anything. So he's truly a joy to be around. He's a joy. Like, this is his character. He's just a hard working person, and we've been super lucky he's inspiring to us for sure. He has so many odds stacked against him, and the way he just perseveres is, I'm like, wow, like if he can do this, I can do anything, so he is such an inspiration for sure.